Hello YouTube, how are you? You good? So I'm back in Kate's shed, as you've seen, and yeah, I'm going to elaborate a bit more about the cuttings I took the other day, because it was kind of like it was a nice vlog. I hope you liked it anyway. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, click the top right of the screen. And yeah, basically I'm just going to go in depth on why I've chosen these shrubs exactly. Like, you know they're good, you know they exist here, so I'm just going to go and elaborate a bit more. So stay tuned if you want to learn about Olearia, Gristolinia, basically just the fast growing evergreen shrubs. Hello again. So first things first, let's talk about some cuttings here, because I elaborated in the last vlog, but I wasn't satisfied with the footage. It didn't sound good enough. Susie's mum, Kate, came round to kind of show me about kind of a different cutting I'd never heard of. I never heard of heel cutting. Well, I have heard of it, but I actually never used it. Heel cuttings. I normally just go for the stereotypical cuttings, because most of the time stereotypical cuttings work for me. And if they don't work, I tend to do it in bulk. Like it's safety in numbers. That's why I've got so many right here, because I know all of them are not going to germinate and they're all not going to take. So that's why you don't have like 2 or 3 cuttings of a plant that you want to propagate. I tend to do like 100, because I know I'm going to get like a good percentage of them there, and then I can carry on that way. So, and plus I like a hardy plant. Like I like a plant where I can cut it back hard and it'll grow back thick and fast. So here we have some Olearia traversii, and for me to get a cutting my way, what is that? Oh, it's a rope. For me to do how I would do it, there's my secateurs. I've lost them. Oh, there you go. So I recommend red secateurs. You'll find them in the garden. I tell you, amount of times I've had green secateurs. Oh, I wouldn't recommend. So right here, what I'll do with my stereotypical cutting, I'll cut it right here, and then you need to take some of the leaves off, because obviously there's a lot of water in the leaves, there's a lot of water in the stem, there's quite a lot of water in the leaves, and it's going to lose, the plant's going to lose leaves from here, and you don't want it, you want them to store inside the stem. So what you do, there's no roots on it right now, so what you do, I would kind of say, leave about 3 to 4 on there. If there's more, don't worry about it, don't cry. But then what I'll do, just kind of get your finger above the top, and thumb and finger, and then just work your way down, like so. And then you have that, and then chuck that on the ground there, and then it's not straight enough for me, so what I'll do, I'll cut just below the node. And with the node, what I mean by that, I'm sure if people cut roses and know plants, you know what I'm talking about, but the node is basically the hips of where the leaves go, like the hips of the stem. If you feel down, you feel that kind of little lump, that's the node. And then what I'll do, I'll just cut below the node, like so, like that, and then I'll put that in the ground. And then what that will happen then, roots should come out here. This is where the leaves will want to come out, so then in time that should put out some roots, and the plant should be able to take. So that's what I'll do. But then there's heel cuttings, which I just learnt the other day. So heel cuttings is, so you've got the T-junction here. There's a wren in here going crazy. I'm sorry, I'll be out soon. But yeah, so here's a heel cutting. So heel cutting is basically, instead of cutting, I will peel back down. You see where the T-junction, you just about see that? So what I'll do, I'll just peel that down like so, like that. And then, yeah, you get that little strip of kind of stem here, but you don't want that, because you need it, that's more room for disease then. So what you do, you just cut it, just maybe just a little bit. I need to sharpen my secateurs. And there you do, then you do the same procedure when it comes to the leaves. So you just scrape down, and there you go. So that's a heel cutting, basically. But in my eyes, I feel like a heel cutting would leave a bit more damage. That's why I tend to kind of go for the other way. But I mean, I could have pulled it better, but it's just like heel cutting to me is a bit like a hangnail, basically. So there's the different ways of cutting. And this is Olearia traversii. I've mentioned it many times before in the vlogs. It's a fast growing shrub, and it's one of my go-tos, mate. But more so in my go-tos, I like basically Olearia. I've fallen in love with Olearia up here. So there's Olearia traversii. There's Olearia macrodonta. And I thought the other one, which is this thinner leafed one, which is Olearia, I thought it was Olearia rosemannerifolia, I think it's called, but it's not. It's called Olearia lineata dartonii. Remember that, I'll write that down. I wish to put all the name of the plants at the bottom of the description, it's a lot easier. But yeah, that's what it's called. It's a lovely shrub. It's more kind of, it's weird, it looks wispy. I didn't like it at first, but it will serve a purpose. And this shed is not waterproof. I'm feeling I'm feeling droplets on my face. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about more shrubs. And you might be out there, you might be one of these people, you might be in the same position as me, like you've got a blank canvas, you want to put all the things that you want, like what you like there. Like, for example, in London or in the mainland, you can pretty much get away with growing with most of the things that you want to, like, or anything that you've seen in the gardens. Like, there's a lot of exotic plants in London. You sometimes in the garden, you barely see native stuff. You barely see it. But we'll talk about native stuff in another day. But for example, the reason why I've chosen these shrubs here, the olearias and all that kind of, and escalonias and gracillinias, is because the proof is in the pudding. It's already there. It's in my face. It's proven to me that it can cope in this environment. It can grow really fast and it's rapid. It can take these winds. So that's why I'm going for it, because I've seen it here. It's not like, for example, I love bamboo. I love bamboo. I love it. I had one, oh, mate, I had this most beautiful bamboo in my old house where I lived in Croydon, and it got about a good 10 foot tall, and it looks so nice. You know the sound that bamboo makes. Have you ever heard bamboo? So yeah, that blowing in the wind, it looked beautiful. And then my neighbour was having an extension, and I basically placed it in the footpath where she technically owned. It was sad times, but anyway, so that's why. But yeah, I've never seen bamboo here. I've yet to see it. It's wet. It's like, yeah, it's windy, but it's like to me, it would seem like a bamboo's wet dream. But I think it's a bit too cold and a bit too bleak for it to be able to kind of get its foot in. So maybe one day I'll try it. One day, but we'll just have to wait and see. Also, another reason why I'm choosing olearia is because it can grow fast, really fast. Up to 1 meter a year, which is great. This is what you want. I want a windbreak. You want a protection. You want it speedily. But I have patience. I do. I have patience. I've been a gardener for long enough. But at the same time, the quicker the windbreak, the quicker I can grow vegetables and be a bit more sustainable and kind of lower my kind of CO2 air miles when it comes to getting veg up in this place. That makes sense? So I could just use these olearia because they're good, isn't it? There's proofs in the they grow a meter a year. They're tough and hardy. They're a coastal plant. They can take pretty much any soil, which is great. That's what you want. But it wouldn't kind of play. It wouldn't kind of. It'll be good. I'm not going to go down. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like it'd be better for the biodiversity if I were to kind of have more shrubs in, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, a laurel hedge. One laurel hedge is great. For example, it flowers in spring. It's got good protection. You've got a nice bit of privacy there. But then within it. It's quite kind of open. It's quite kind of, it's not as densely packed as, for example, a privet. So, for example, you've got this spring flower, like I said, it's kind of dense enough, and then you can home or house like maybe a pigeon or a blackbird. But then that's pretty much it. It's done. It's got some berries on, and then the pigeons can come in and devour them and spread them, and you know what I mean. You've got lava laurels all over the place. But then, for example, if you had like a privet next to it, you would have summer flowers too, which are good for the bees. So you get spring flowers for the bees, you got summer flower for the bees, and because it's quite dense, it's more kind of densely packed hedge, you'll get more kind of housing for sparrows and kind of robins and wrens and all different types. So you have like an whole family of birds and bring all these kind of pests. But basically, it just helps the biodiversity, which is great. This is what you want. So that's what I'm trying to depict here. So olearia is good. And yes, it can hybridize and make some new different types of olearia, which we've seen here, which is I've mentioned before in my other vlogs, and I'm going to take these home and dig the other ones up, but I'm not digging today because today is dank and nasty. So yeah, that's why biodiversity is good. It's good, and yes, racists, biodiversity is great. Diversity is great. So go scratch yourselves. But mate, yeah, it will just provide just such a good root structures, different types of root structures, flowers for different pollinators. Just nitrogen fixes, it will improve the soil. And let's be clear now, evergreens aren't forever green. Like, you must know, everyone here who's got an evergreen hedge, it's not forever green. It will always shed at different times. If you see here, like different stresses, cold, wind, heat, you know what I mean? It will shed at certain time of year or throughout its life. It will just keep shedding, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, because at the end of the day, that will kind of provide nice bit of leaf litter for basically, again, more flora and fauna, creating more diversity, feeding the soil, and like, it's lucky enough for any little creepy crawly to be, or anything, any bit of any animal living around it, it would be benefit from just being around these kind of shrubs and all the leaf litter and all the kind of goodness that it brings. Worms, you name it. Just go one day, go in your garden, lift up the leaves and have a look and just see all the things bouncing around in there. You're gonna wet yourself. Also, I'm very aware that a lot of these shrubs I'm talking about here aren't native to this environment, but nor am I. I'm joking. Well, I'm not. Well, kind of am. My grandmother, my granddad's dad's donkey's friend. I'm kidding. My granddad's mother was Scottish. So I'm coming back home, innit? I've done a DNA test. I'm just waiting for the feedback. I'll get my kilt out. I bet one day when I'm about 50, I'll get like my first ginger hair right here, right there. But so yeah, back to seriousness. Yeah, they're not native, but again, they've been here. They're coastal plants. This is a coastal, yeah, most of them are coastal, all the areas anyway. But they're good shrubs. They're not thuggish. They won't take over the place. They won't like, and they're easily manageable. And I forgot to mention they're low maintenance. All of these shrubs here are low maintenance, so you can toparize them if you want. If that's your cup of tea, I love topiary. I miss it with the passion. I love getting down and trimming some buxus. If you see here, like this is it's not a buxus, it's a type of honeysuckle. Is it a type of honeysuckle? Yeah, I'll put the name down if I remember it, honeysuckle. And I used to prune these like God knows how many times a year. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun doing it. I can't play the music, but if you can, I was dancing to Luther Vandross, Never Too Much. So if you just watch the video a little bit there, you can just imagine it's going on like ding 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 ding. So yeah, it was a fun day. It was a fun day. And if topiary's not your thing, I still recommend giving your plants a trim. Like I've noticed here, not many people like to kind of trim their hedges back. They tend to get obviously do the obvious stuff like when it comes to the drive and that I've seen around, but a lot of people just let them go. You see the odd topiarized hedge here. Don't get me wrong, it does look really really nice because if you do cut your plant back, when you cut it back, it thickens up, and it's recommended. It's almost like a maintenance. It's like it will come back thick and fast. That's not an old wives' tale. That is a fact. So that's for another vlog. We'll talk about that another day once we get, because it's a bit premature for me to talking about cutting back kind of hedges really hard. But yeah. So there you go, guys. There you go. Look at this, a rocking chair. Oh, I need to get one of these. This one's it's a bit weird. It rocks, yes, but it just doesn't rock enough. I want it to go further. Hey. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something today, and be sure to come back because I'm going to show off my my little patch what I've made, my little protection patch where I plant my protection patch. Sounds like a sanitary towel. My protection patch where I plant plant my cuttings. Sorry, there you go. Plant my cuttings. You can have a look and you see how they're doing and stuff like that. So yes, I'm planting en masse this year. I've been here long enough. I've got a nice little space. I've seen the croft. I know what I need to do. So I'm just going to get, every time I come to South Uist or wherever I see a cutting, and I'll speak to whoever, I'm going to get loads of cuttings in, loads of evergreens, and then just put them where they need to be and let them grow up. And if they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. And then I'll plant them. And right now the chickens are making lovely compost. I can get horse manure for days. So that's what my aim right now is, to get a nice windbreak around the perimeter of the place, and then we can start kind of just fine tuning places, making nice little kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? I can't think right now, my brain's dead. But yeah, just making nice little habitats and little areas for kind of things to develop, and just, yeah, it's just, that's what I love about gardens, people's gardens. For example, my garden could be a certain temperature, but then the next door neighbour's garden could be something totally different. Just get nice little micro habitats and microclimates in there. Like, it's just, I had bananas. I grew bananas in Croydon, believe it or not. If you haven't seen the vlog about my first ever garden, click the top right. It's a lovely garden. I miss it, and I just miss gardening in general. Like, this is kind of like, I remember that surviving here. Like, I need a windbreak. I need to keep warm. I need to keep my animals safe. But yeah, and today I saw an otter. I saw an otter near the croft, on the croft. So I'm kind of a bit of freaking out a little bit. So, but anyways, I'll let you know about that another day. So again, thanks for watching, guys. And if you learned something today, give us a like. If you're new here, then consider subscribing for some future stuff. Like, I'm full of random tips and a bit of shaky hips and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, love you long time. And for those people who've been here from the start, I've been here for a while, I appreciate you too. I love you lots, honestly. I appreciate you guys sticking around to watch me and talk about what I'm doing here, because it's fun. It's exciting. Like, I can't wait. Like, I'm on a mission now. I know what I need to do. Yes, we've got chickens and ducks. They kind of got in the way of things, but I know now, like, I'm getting eggs. I know how to look after them. They're easy. They're making compost right now. They're flattening the ground out. They're fattening the ground. I haven't been in South London for how long? So love you long time. Hope to see you soon. And remember, it's not just my agenda. It's yours.